Welcome back to the Alignment Assignment, where we take a look at each of the D&D alignments. On today's docket is Neutral Evil, the alignment of I Got Mine, Jack. Now, before we proceed, it is important to know that your character's actions are what determine their alignment. Their alignment does not constrain nor determine their actions. So, without further ado, let's take a look at Neutral Evil. We will break it down into its two halves of neutrality and evil. But what do these mean? First, the neutrality half is someone who cares not for law nor chaos. They'll work within the rules, they'll work outside of the rules. It doesn't matter to them, it is complete flexibility. It is someone who pursues their goal in any means they deem necessary. And what is this ultimate goal? That's where the evil comes into play. It is the self, it is building up the self, or it is building up a goal that themselves consider particularly important. They will build up themselves and the devil take the rest. Or perhaps more specifically with this alignment, a Yugoloth take the rest. Now that said, Neutral Evil is actually a very playable alignment that will not necessarily disrupt the game in any manner. Of course, this means that it is in the hands of a mature and a capable player, but you want that sort of player to be in every seat at your gaming table. So, the Neutral Evil character is playable because you see lawful evil, they grasp out at the world and they want to control it. Chaotic evil lashes out at the world and wants to smash. But Neutral Evil, it is more internal than the other two alignments. You see, they want to build up themselves. And it doesn't really matter what the world is doing around them, so long as they are feeling good, and so long as they are feeling at the top. Now, what happens when a character favors one half of this alignment over the other? If they favor the neutrality portion, they will probably resemble a chaotic neutral character because they have this sort of complete flexibility. They will resemble a chaotic neutral character until they do something nasty. But this may not be necessarily witnessed by the rest of the party. This character is more of the chameleon sort of character. They can smile and they can crush in equal measure, and they will do this as they go about their ways, and they will build up their fame and their fortune. And it doesn't matter how they do this, just as long as this is what they get. Because Neutral Evil, they want what they want, and they get what they get. Elephants are evil 100%. So what about the character who favors the evil half over the other? This is the character who builds up the self at all costs. They're building up a goal that is particularly important to them. You see, Neutral Evil, despite being evil, can be very protective and very patriotic. They will protect their family, they can protect their nation. They will do this brutally so, very efficiently so. In fact, if your goals and the goals of a Neutral Evil character align, that's fine. They will work with lawful good characters even. Of course, on the sly, they'll be doing the dirt, they'll be doing the nasty as they build up themselves, as they build up their wealth, as they build up their evil goals. Neutral Evil can be a staunch ally if your goals and theirs intersect. Now, what about moral quandaries? Now, this is always a bit more difficult for an evil character than a good, but Neutral Evil, since it's all for themselves, they will be presented with short-term and long-term goals, ones of risk and reward, and they will have to weigh these of how much they want to stick their neck out for how much they will bring in. You see, they don't want to be sticking their neck out at all, and they want to be bringing in as much as they can. So this is the moral quandary for the Neutral Evil character. Now, how much will they work with a character that they might despise? How much will they hide their evil actions? Because no alignment is more of a chameleon than Neutral Evil. How long will they conceal their viper nature until they strike? And Neutral Evil knows that when you strike at the king, you must kill him. And so their strikes will always be final. Now, Neutral Evil can also present moral quandaries for other characters, and I feel that this is where they're at their most interesting. Now, good King Darion would never send out political assassins to ensure his power, but he has a neutral evil character in his employ, and this character says, "My good king, we must eliminate these rivals. We must be a dagger in the dark to spare 1,000 swords at dawn, because that is the most efficient." And he convinces good King Darion, and the assassin goes out, and rival merchants and hobgoblins and other kick-ass dukes that are looking at the king's position are all efficiently eliminated. And now good King Darion, now he has a taste for the efficiency of neutral evil, and now evil caresses good King Darion. Now what will he do with this knowledge? So then, who is neutral evil? What are some good examples in fiction of this alignment? But first I want to begin with a protagonist of all things, and that is our good friend Beatrix Kiddo of Tarantino's Kill Bill movies. Now, I'm using her as the example specifically, but Tarantino's movies are a cavalcade of neutral evil characters just ganking each other. So for example, the raconteur hitmen of Vincent and Jules from Pulp Fiction are also excellent examples of this alignment. But Beatrix Kiddo, the bride from Kill Bill, she is an assassin. She jets around the world killing human beings and being paid vast sums of money. She does it for the lifestyle, she does it for the challenge, and she does it because she is a huntress and a warrior, a lioness by her very nature. Now, she is on a mission of revenge, because revenge for her murdered husband and her murdered child. She is on a revenge mission to kill Bill. Now, a good character may very well not balk at this sort of goal. After all, she's going to eliminate an evil from the world. Bill is also a master assassin. But a good character would certainly balk at her methods, because it is mercy, compassion, and forgiveness that she lacks as she pursues her goals, and this may stick in the craw of a good party member. So, the next example of neutral evil is the operative from the Serenity movie after the Firefly series. Now, this operative, he is an agent provocateur, and he is the goal-oriented neutral evil type. He works for the Galactic Alliance, a lawful neutral organization seeking to control as many planets and keep as much order as they can in this sci-fi setting. Now, this operative is neutral evil because his mission is all that matters. It is through murder, torture, and even terrorism that he will do in order to eliminate the foes of the Galactic Alliance. Now, he's working to create a utopia that the Alliance will control. And when he is confronted by the irony of this, by the protagonist of the movie, Malcolm Reynolds, when he is confronted that he does these horrible things in order to create something good, a utopia, the operative simply replies, "Malcolm, you misunderstand me. I'm not going to live there. I'm a monster. There's no place for me there." And it is interesting because here's a neutral evil character who realizes that they are a monster. They are pursuing a goal at all costs, but he realizes that he will never be part of this goal. It is a strange sort of altruistic neutral evil that I find very interesting. Now, the third character is some classic neutral evil, and that is Tony, say hello to my little friend, Montana. And he, as a young man, realized that he ain't got shit, so he went out and he got shit. Now, many crime bosses in many settings are lawful evil, but Tony Montana is more neutral evil because he realizes when he must control, when he must keep order, but he also realizes when he needs to go out and chainsaw up some of his rivals so that he looks crazy and no one wants to mess with Tony Montana. So, he also has a habit of snorting more coke than Gary Busey, which is no small feat. And it is perhaps this that is more introducing the chaotic nature into his alignment. It's very possible that Tony Montana is in fact a lawful evil crime boss, but his coke-fueled chaotic actions turn him into neutral evil as law and chaos combine. So think about that for a character. Their alignment might be affected by a chemical dependency. So, what is neutral evil society like? Well, it's probably very fractured and tribal. There are probably many small groups, gangs, tribes, guilds, merchant consortiums, what have you, each one competing fiercely with one another. But amidst this competition, a certain strength is born, a strength and a skill that is tempered by this competition. Now, neutral evil goods and services are probably of very high quality because of this. You see, the inferior is left behind. Now, a group of neutral evil dwarven arms merchants, they probably make the best axes around. But what does your character think about the idea of buying that masterwork glaive gisarm from a group of total jerkbags? You see, these dwarves, they'll sell to anyone. Perhaps a paladin, perhaps a death knight, perhaps a troll, or perhaps a rust monster. It doesn't matter who eats steel, literally in the last case, as long as it's these dwarves who end up holding the gold at the end. Now, it seems like every fantasy setting has that city of thieves, a city of great danger and great wonders, a city where you can find pleasures undreamt of, where you can buy some killer drugs and stumble down the street tripping balls and then punch a camel in the head. So, in this city of thieves, this neutral evil city, it is the slow and the foolish who do not find wonders at all. Instead, they find a knife in their guts. But this doesn't bother the citizens of this neutral evil society at all. You see, they're slow, they're foolish ones. They've been dead long ago. The only neutral evil citizens left are those with the sharpest of knives. And so that is the great risk and the great reward that you will encounter when you visit or live in a neutral evil society.